Hello folks, L.A. Little here with TA Today, bringing you neoclassical technical analysis on a regular basis, giving you trading ideas, setups, and thoughts about where this market is and where it's going. Let's get into it. Well, as we can see from the numbers out here, another tough week in this market. The mega caps in particular continue to get hammered, and we continue to see weakness across most of the sectors. There's the mega caps just slammed. You got breakdowns big time. I did a video just the one prior to this, showing you that Meta and Microsoft both were in serious trouble. Now they're going to get bounces. Don't get me wrong. There'll be bounces in these things. I think Microsoft's getting close to a good bounce level, but again, these things are pretty broken at this point, and the amount of losses here fairly significant at this point. There's always a bull market somewhere though, and if you look at it, it's really materials, energy, the AI sectors so far. That's what's held up, and that's not that surprising. I mean, that if you think about it, that is what should have held up. But even these are under siege, and why? Well, it's all about oil. Last week I asked the question, was top in? Well, you got a higher high up here. Top is not in. This thing actually, if you look at it, you've got a bullish ABCD now that looks makeable, which is at 136.85, and we're looking at the USO contract in this. So it looks to me like oil's going higher. Oil going higher means interest rates are probably going higher. They're sitting at 3.4 plus. And you're probably going to see the markets go lower. I mean, that's the way this process is working right now. Oil's everything, and where oil goes dictates where everything else goes. Here's those interest rates. You can see them, spiking. They just been on a straight move up as far as this war is concerned. Right, war was right here, started straight up. Hit it was almost at 4.46, I think it was. A little bit of a dark doji at the top here, but at the same time, look at what actually happened this week. You came down right here, and you did a test of that bullish retest region, and immediately went right back the other way. If you look at this on a weekly basis, it's broken out and is starting to stretch, right? You can see the big move. Next targets are up here, 4.5, 4.6 plus. This 4.5 is the monthly swing point high as well. We've got 2 days until 2 more trading days. If this closes over 4.5, that's going to be a breakout on multiple time frames, monthly and weekly. That's a pretty powerful signal. That says, that's a precondition to an explosion to the top side. In other words, it doesn't have to come back. And so we may see a fast move in interest rates, which would be pretty deadly for the markets, I suspect. Now, what's happening here is we've got the roll going. I've been highlighting the fact that this thing is rolling over. You can see the escalation starting to take place here. This ideal buy zone still, to me, is the ideal place. And as this comes down in a straight line move, it becomes even more and more likely that's going to be a buy area. You got a high probability buy. Why? Well, because you broke out on this swing point high right here, right? Never tested this entire time. If you look at the probabilities, when you come back to something like that, you're almost certainly going to get a bounce, right? And potentially that could be a low, but you won't know that immediately. But that is the area that we're looking at. That's about 5% lower, and that's what you should be focused on. Okay, well, what I wanted to wrap up here with is it really is all about Iran. And the point is, in my mind, is that you're going to have to see this market, dive to an area that should bounce. We're on that dive right now. It's another 5% or so to get to the ideal place. We may bounce before we get there, right? I would not get sucked into that bounce though. You've got a bearish retest regen up above you now. And so even if we get a bounce here, it's a sell. If we get a push to here, right, and we see some turn, that's the buy. And you don't know if it's going to be a low, but you do know there's a good probability that you got your back up against the wall. You have a high probability that this thing's going to turn and at least bounce, if not run again and make new highs eventually. And so that's the setup, and that's what you're waiting on. That's what I've been waiting on. I've been telling folks to wait on. And that's where we're at. Have yourself a great one. I'll see you next time.